There are moments in life when the feeling of being different becomes almost tangible, something beyond the ordinary. It's not about arrogance or pride, but an inner restlessness that makes someone question their purpose in this world. It's as if a subtle voice calls them to explore a greater destiny, something that connects them directly to the Creator. You know when you feel that life is more than just the everyday routine? Well, that may be the first hint of a divine calling. It's like an unseen current guiding you until suddenly you realize perhaps God has something special for you. For the chosen, this feeling is almost inevitable and starts early, without warning. They find themselves drawn to spiritual matters, while others seem occupied with life's trivialities. It's not that the chosen despise the world around them, but rather that their soul seems already connected to something greater, which drives them to question, seek more, and go beyond. When they feel this, they don't find satisfaction in the common answers society offers. Remember when Moses was drawn to the burning bush in the desert? He too felt that mysterious calling that pulled towards something beyond the visible. The truth is, this calling, this desire to find something that gives life meaning, is something powerful. If you feel this, consider yourself blessed, as only a few experience this spiritual restlessness. And the most intriguing part is that it often happens in ordinary moments, in the least expected places, as if it were a divine surprise waiting for the right time to reveal itself. Just like Samuel, who, as a child, heard God's call but wasn't sure where the voice was coming from. He only discovered the purpose later, but the seed was there right from the beginning. Feeling different might even seem lonely, but it's how God shapes His chosen ones. He allows them to distance themselves from distractions so they can clearly see what's hidden from the world's eyes. And it's important to realize that by answering this call, the journey won't be easy. In fact, it will be challenging. Those who have this restlessness know there's no turning back. It's as if God has planted a mission in their heart, and by accepting it, they begin to understand that there's a purpose waiting to be discovered and lived out. This calling is the beginning of a journey that will lead the chosen ones to know themselves and connect with the divine will. The feeling of carrying a greater purpose is just the start, and as the path reveals itself, the next step appears. A phase of isolation and preparation where inner transformation begins, like a precious stone being refined until it shines. When God calls someone to a special purpose, there is always a moment of isolation, an intense preparation phase. It might seem strange, but this period of solitude is like a classroom where God Himself teaches. It's a time when the soul is refined, where weaknesses are exposed and worked on. Take Moses as an example. Before leading the people of Israel, he spent years in the desert, away from the distractions of the Egyptian palace. This isolation was essential for him to become the leader the people needed. Sometimes, life's desert is where we find the clarity that comfort does not allow. During this time, many might feel disoriented, questioning the reason for this separation. However, for the chosen, this phase is an opportunity to strengthen the mind and spirit. Those who have experienced solitude know it's there that they learn to hear God's voice, far from the noise and external pressures, just like David, who, before becoming king, tended sheep in the field alone, communing with God and himself. This time of introspection is training for the journey to come, and the chosen know that this is an essential process for any great purpose. In isolation, faith is refined. There, the chosen learn to deal with their doubts and insecurities, discovering that, to fulfill their calling, they must fully trust in divine power. When Joseph was sold by his own brothers and thrown into prison, he too faced a period of complete loneliness and injustice. But it was precisely in those moments that he developed resilience, patience, and trust in God. These difficult experiences are what transform an ordinary human heart into one prepared for the greatness of the divine purpose. This training is not only spiritual, but also mental and emotional. God molds the chosen to become stronger, ready to withstand the pressures to come. They learn to face adversity with serenity and discernment. Jesus also went through this when he isolated himself in the desert for 40 days, facing temptations and strengthening his mission. This is the process where the chosen learn to let go of distractions and focus on what truly matters, shaping their character and refining their vision. At the end of this preparation phase, the chosen one emerges transformed, with a clarity of purpose they didn't possess before. Now they are ready for the next revelations, the next steps of the journey, which connect them even more to their calling. And it is precisely in this sequence that the signs begin to intensify, revealing themselves through vivid dreams, divine messages that guide the way. God's chosen often experience intense, almost palpable dreams that go beyond mere imagination. These dreams aren't just coincidences or echoes of the subconscious. They are divine messages. Imagine if you had a dream so vivid you could swear you were living every detail. Well, that's how it is for the chosen. These dreams are like letters from God to guide, warn, or comfort, revealing directions that could not be found elsewhere. Joseph, the father of Jesus, for example, had a clear vision instructing him to protect his family, showing that the dream was, indeed, a direct communication channel with the Creator. There's something powerful and inexplicable in these dreams that become unforgettable, as if they were engraved on the soul. They bring specific messages, details that point to an action or profound understanding. For the chosen, waking up from one of these dreams is like carrying a divine secret. In the Bible, we see this in Daniel, who had dreams and visions interpreted as directions from God for his life and for the people of Israel. These dreams guide the journey, making the chosen feel the divine presence even closer. And the most interesting part is that these dreams often occur at crucial moments when important decisions need to be made. For the chosen, each of these dreams is a reminder that there is a greater plan in action. It's not a coincidence, but a divine intervention that guides them along a safe path. Remember Jacob's dream, where he saw a ladder reaching up to heaven. That dream was a milestone in his life, a sign that God was present, caring for and directing every step. For the chosen, these dreams are compasses that point the right direction. Some may think it's just fantasy or mere imagination, but the chosen know the reality of these dreams is profound and transformative. They feel encouraged to follow the instructions, even if they seem challenging or illogical. It's a call to faith, to believe in the invisible and the supernatural. These dreams are like stars in the darkness, illuminating the path that should be followed, and the chosen learn to trust them as part of their relationship with God. Over time, these dreams become part of a spiritual routine, a constant channel of communion. And as the signs become more frequent, the chosen begins to realize that there is a favor surrounding them, a special protection accompanying them, as if God himself opens doors and pours unexpected blessings at every step of the journey. God's chosen ones possess a special favor that manifests almost miraculously in their lives, both with God and with the people around them. It's not something they achieve through their own efforts, but a gift, a kind of divine protection that follows them. Take Joseph, the father of Jesus, for example, who by following divine instructions was blessed with respect and support from others, even in times of great difficulty. This favor is like a door that opens, an opportunity that appears at just the right moment, confirming that God is in control, guiding and sustaining. This favor translates into events that may seem inexplicable to outsiders, but that the chosen recognize as signs of divine care. It's common for people around them to feel genuinely drawn to help them for no apparent reason. It's as if a light surrounds them, attracting people and resources that propel their steps forward. Daniel, for instance, found favor in the hearts of the Babylonian kings, being honored and protected in situations where others would have failed. This divine favor is a testament that when God chooses someone, even obstacles turn into pathways. For the chosen, this favor is a confirmation of their purpose, a constant reminder that they are on the right path. And although they may face opposition and challenges, blessings always emerge to balance the scale. When doors seem closed, something happens, and a new opportunity appears. This is the experience of the chosen. They live under a mantle of grace that sustains them. Even in the moments of greatest adversity, divine favor manifests, bringing hope and solutions where there was previously only uncertainty. Favor with people also becomes an opportunity to witness God's goodness and power. Often the chosen don't even need to speak because their lives themselves serve as an inspiration. People observe and wonder why they experience so much favor and so many blessings, which arouses curiosity about the God they serve. Like in Acts, where the apostles found favor among the people, the favor the chosen ones receive is a channel to influence and attract others to God, serving as a way to spread faith and divine love. As the chosen one advances, this favor becomes even more evident, preparing them to face future challenges with courage and resilience. With this favor, they know they are never alone. And it is precisely in trials that this divine support shines even brighter, strengthening them to overcome each adversity with faith and hope. God's chosen ones carry an impressive resilience, an ability to face adversities that, for many, would be hard to comprehend. This gift of perseverance is one of the clearest signs of their divine calling. It's as if they have an extra strength, something that keeps them standing when everything around them seems to crumble. Think of Job, who, even in the face of the worst losses, did not give up his faith. He suffered, wept, questioned, but deep down, he had a strength that sustained him. This is the type of resilience that the chosen possess, a strength that does not come from them, but from above. This resilience manifests in both the small and large battles of life. It enables them to face challenges with a different perspective, seeing difficulties as opportunities to grow and strengthen. When the chosen go through moments of pain and suffering, they know they are not alone. They feel that there is a greater purpose behind each trial. Remember Paul, who, despite all persecutions and imprisonments, maintained his mission. He saw God's hand in every situation, and through this, his faith became even stronger. The chosen are like this. They transform every difficulty into a stepping stone toward purpose. It's not that adversities don't affect the chosen, but they don't define them. They learn to use struggles as a way to refine their character and deepen their connection with God. With each obstacle overcome, they feel more prepared and equipped for the next challenges. And interestingly, these experiences often also strengthen those around them who witness their faith and resilience in action. Just like David, who even when persecuted by King Saul, remained faithful and confident in the promise God had for him. This kind of overcoming inspires and encourages others to hold on to their faith in difficult times. This strength is like a muscle being trained with each difficulty faced. God allows them to go through situations that in the end only make them stronger and wiser. It's no wonder that people say the strength of the chosen does not come from their abilities, but from their trust in God. Every challenge is like a lesson preparing them for something greater. Those who face storms with unshakable faith know that in the end, everything contributes to fulfilling God's purpose in their lives. It's on this journey of overcoming and resilience that they also develop a deeper intuition and spiritual discernment. Each battle won, each pain faced, each obstacle overcome adds a new layer of wisdom and understanding, guiding them with even more clarity and intuition through the paths ahead. God's chosen ones develop a sharp intuition and a distinctive spiritual discernment. This gift is like a sixth sense that guides them, an inner compass that helps them make wise decisions and avoid unseen dangers. Many feel this intuition as a soft voice that guides them amid uncertainties, a sense of certainty that allows them to move forward confidently. Think of Solomon, who asked God for wisdom and received such deep discernment that he became famous throughout the region. This type of discernment is a mark of the chosen, a perception that goes beyond the natural. This intuition is not just about sensing events, but interpreting situations with depth and clarity. The chosen can see beyond appearances, perceiving intentions and sensing possible pitfalls. They develop a special ability to feel what is true and what is not. This helps them navigate complex situations, choose the right friends, and identify people or environments that might be harmful. It's a gift that grows with each lived experience and each trial overcome, bringing a serene confidence like that we see in Joseph, who discerned the intentions of his brothers and the importance of each event in his life. This discernment is also a powerful tool for interpreting dreams, signs, and messages God sends them. The chosen, with this spiritual sensitivity, can recognize when something is a sign from God or merely a distraction. They have a special connection that allows them to hear divine direction, even when everything around them is silent. This is something that helps them make the right decisions and stay on the right path, regardless of the temptations or difficulties that may arise. As they walk in faith, this intuition strengthens like a muscle that is constantly exercised. They learn to trust this discernment more and more, knowing it is an essential part of their relationship with God. Often, this discernment becomes evident to others, who observe how they make safe and well-directed decisions, even when they don't have all the answers. This gift is one that the chosen use not only for themselves, but to help those around them, guiding them and offering wise advice when sought. And as they advance, this discernment becomes even sharper, revealing more deeply the paths of God's purpose for their lives. Thus, guided by this intuition, they begin to perceive and recognize the marks of the divine call, seeing the signs that distinguish them as God's chosen, understanding the responsibility and purpose that this call carries. There are clear signs that reveal the special calling of God's chosen, unmistakable marks that distinguish those selected for a divine purpose. These marks go beyond what is visible to human eyes and reflect a unique spiritual essence. Those who possess them often already feel different, with an inexplicable yearning for something greater, something that connects the soul to a mission. These marks result from deep experiences, leading them on a journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth. Think of Abraham, who was called and marked as the father of faith, a title carrying unparalleled responsibilities and promises. The first of these marks is the very calling itself, that feeling of being destined for something greater. This awakens a restlessness, a desire to seek and understand God's purpose. It's as if, throughout their life, they are being led by a force guiding them to a specific destiny. Just like the prophets, who felt a weight in their souls, a calling that demanded a response, the chosen ones also feel this mark. This calling is the spark that ignites the search for the divine purpose, a search that will bring many other revelations along the way. The second mark is the special favor with God and people, something that sets them apart among others. This favor is a blessing that accompanies them at every stage, opening doors and providing opportunities that confirm their calling. It is a divine protection and provision that manifests when least expected, a constant reminder that they are not alone. Just as Daniel found favor with the kings of Babylon, the chosen ones also experience this support that transcends natural barriers, indicating that God is by their side. The third mark is resilience, an overcoming strength that enables them to face adversities with courage and perseverance. They have an ability to rise after each fall, to persist when others would give up. This mark is one of the most evident as it manifests in moments of pain and difficulty. For the chosen, each challenge is a new opportunity to prove their faith and strengthen their connection with God. Like Paul, who endured persecutions and hardships with unwavering faith, the chosen also possess this extraordinary resilience. Finally, the fourth mark is an increased intuition and spiritual discernment, a unique sensitivity to perceive God's directions. This mark makes them more attentive to divine messages and capable of interpreting signs that others might overlook. It's a wisdom that grows over time, allowing them to recognize and act according to divine will. This intuition, along with all the other marks, serves as a guide that directs them on the journey of their divine calling. And thus, with these marks, the chosen understand the responsibility of living according to the purpose entrusted to them, knowing that their life has eternal value. When someone realizes they have been called by God, the first response should be deep gratitude. The journey of the chosen is filled with challenges, but it's also full of blessings, and recognizing this in prayer is essential. A prayer of gratitude is a moment to connect even more with God, acknowledging that every step, every victory, and even every trial is part of a greater plan. This act of giving thanks is, in itself, a way to receive more strength and peace. Imagine someone saying, "Thank you, Lord, for every moment, every lesson, every sign that guides my steps and strengthens my faith." This is the beginning of a sincere prayer that brings unparalleled peace. But beyond gratitude, the chosen also understand the importance of asking for guidance. Every choice, every decision is a step towards their purpose, and relying on divine guidance is fundamental. When they ask for guidance, they are in truth surrendering their lives, declaring their trust in God's will. Here comes the request for wisdom, so they may discern each path that opens before them. Just as Solomon asked for wisdom to govern, the chosen also ask for wisdom to lead their own lives according to the mission they've received. In prayer, there is also room to ask for strength to face difficulties. The chosen know that not every day will be easy, but by placing their pains and challenges before God, they find renewal and hope. Imagine praying like this: "Lord, I know there is a purpose in every difficulty. Give me the strength to endure whatever comes and the courage to keep moving forward, trusting that everything is in your hands." This surrender is an expression of faith, an invitation for God to act powerfully in every situation. As they pray, the chosen acknowledge they are instruments in God's hands, and this too is a reason for humility. They understand that without divine presence, nothing they do would have the same meaning or value. Thus, they give thanks and ask God to continue using them, transforming their lives into living testimonies of faith. This prayer may be simple, but it is filled with meaning, and at the end of every word, they feel the peace that only God's presence can provide. And as they conclude this prayer, they realize there is still much to live and learn. The journey of the chosen is continuous, and as they walk, faith becomes increasingly essential, leading them to a profound understanding that this trust in God is the true foundation of their lives. At the end of a journey of learning and inspiration, the chosen know that the next step is to share what they have received. After all, such a powerful message wasn't meant to be kept to oneself, but to touch other lives, spreading God's word and His purpose for each person. It's like a flame that spreads, igniting faith and hope in hearts that may have never experienced something so transformative. Why not share this message and let others be blessed too? It's an invitation to spread light in a world that needs it so much. Sharing is not just a matter of influence, but a mission. Every time someone shares this message, they are planting a seed that can grow unexpectedly, bringing life and hope. Imagine the impact that can be achieved when God's words reach someone at the right moment, providing comfort or guidance. Just as the disciples were sent to preach and transform lives, everyone who hears this message is invited to do the same. It's an opportunity to join a greater cause, a network of faith that spans times and generations. And it's through the simple act of sharing that the chosen can help others understand their value, their purpose, and God's love for them. Every shared message is a chance to inspire, a chance to show that there is a hope that never fails. Isn't it amazing to think that a video, a word, a testimony could be what someone needs to find their own faith? This is the power of testimony and communion, and everyone who listens is invited to be a part of it. The invitation to subscribe to the channel is more than a formality. It's an open door for more edifying content to reach those who need it. Each new subscription is like an outstretched hand to build a strong and dedicated community where every video, every message strengthens faith and commitment to God. By subscribing and activating notifications, the viewer not only supports the channel, but also strengthens their own faith journey, surrounding themselves with content that will help them grow spiritually. So don't hesitate to share this message with friends, family, and anyone who might benefit from it. Why not start now? This is the moment to let God's word reach even more hearts, bringing life and hope where there is need. And may this journey continue, for faith is essential, the fuel that moves us, and with each share, it becomes even more alive and present in the world. Faith is the foundation of every spiritual journey, especially for God's chosen ones. It is not optional or simply a comfort. It is a vital, indispensable force that gives meaning and purpose to each step. Without faith, even the greatest challenges become insurmountable. But with it, there is a confidence that transcends any obstacle. It's like building a house on rock. When storms come, it stands firm. And this isn't just theory, it is the essence of what Jesus taught. Your faith has saved you, he said many times, revealing that this trust is what keeps us connected to God in every situation. The faith of the chosen is not superficial. It grows with each experience lived, each challenge overcome. It is not blind faith, but a deep trust developed through a relationship with God. For them, having faith means believing in what is not yet seen, but known to exist. It's like walking in darkness with the certainty that God is there, guiding each step. Paul said that faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And this perfectly sums up the essence of living by faith, trusting that God has already prepared the way, even when everything around is uncertain. Those who possess this faith know it is their shield and fortress. When fear or doubt arises, faith is the first response. It's what makes them rise, even after falling, with renewed courage and the assurance that nothing is impossible for those who believe. And this faith becomes so essential that it shapes every decision, every action. For the chosen, there is no plan B. Faith is plan A, and the only path, for they know it is the only way to fully experience God's care and purpose in their lives. More than a belief, faith is a way of life. It's something that impacts how the chosen see the world and respond to adversity. This confidence allows them to face problems with calm and hold on to God's promises. When reading the biblical stories of characters like Abraham, Moses, and so many others, it becomes clear that it was faith that sustained them in the hardest times. This is the invitation for anyone seeking a true relationship with God, to live an unshakable faith that does not depend on circumstances. This essential faith is a divine gift, but also a commitment. It is the certainty that strengthens the chosen and motivates them to continue sharing the message. And, as they deepen in it, faith transforms into a complete surrender, a total trust that transcends human understanding, leading them to a state of peace and gratitude. And so naturally, the desire to surrender all concerns to God becomes the next step in the journey, a prayer of surrender and trust that connects them even more to the Creator. The prayer of surrender is a special moment, an honest conversation where the chosen ones place their lives entirely in God's hands. It is an act of faith expressing absolute trust, handing over worries and challenges to the one who sees and knows all. This prayer is like a relief for the soul, a moment of rest where it's acknowledged that not everything is under our control, but that God is perfectly able to take care of every detail. Imagine someone saying, "Lord, I surrender all my anxieties and fears to you, trusting that your will is better than any plan I could imagine." This is the spirit of this prayer. It is through this surrender that the chosen experience a peace beyond human understanding. By releasing control and trusting in God, they find that strength and serenity come from the very act of trusting. Just as Jesus taught, "Do not be anxious about tomorrow." This prayer reflects the certainty that God is faithful to provide and care. In moments of uncertainty, this is the type of prayer that renews faith and brings comfort. It's like a refuge in the storm where the heart rests and the soul is renewed. The prayer of trust is also a recognition that the path chosen by God is always the best, even when it seems challenging or uncertain. The chosen know that this surrender is not a sign of weakness, but of deep dependence on God. They learn to trust that, by surrendering their worries, they are taking a step of faith that opens doors for divine care. Just like David, who declared his trust in God in his darkest moments, this prayer is a reminder that we are not alone and that God is always by our side, ready to guide us. This prayer transforms circumstances, for in surrendering everything to God, the chosen make room for Him to act. It's not that problems disappear, but the way they are faced changes completely. Imagine a heart that was once troubled, now surrounded by peace, knowing that the answer will come at the right time. Trust allows the chosen to walk with their heads held high, knowing that God is taking care of every detail. They know that by praying this way, they are strengthening their faith and deepening their relationship with the Creator. Finally, this prayer of surrender and trust doesn't end there, but inspires a life of continuous surrender. Each new difficulty becomes an opportunity to reaffirm this trust, to remember that God is faithful and powerful to fulfill what He has promised. And it is this same trust that motivates the chosen to keep sharing their faith, to spread the word, and encourage others to also surrender their lives into God's hands. Thus, they continue the journey with peace and confidence, ready to live each day under divine care. Reaching the end of this message is more than a conclusion. It is the beginning of a mission for all who have been touched by these words. Each teaching, each example is an invitation for this journey of faith to spread, reaching and transforming more lives. After all, God's word is a light that should not be hidden, but placed where everyone can see. What if you could be the channel to bring this light to someone who needs it? This is the invitation, to share the video so that others may also be reached by the transforming power of faith. Sharing this message is not just an act of generosity, but a purpose. Imagine how many lives can be impacted at the simple touch of a button. Each share is an opportunity to spread hope, to be an instrument in God's hands to reach those seeking answers. Maybe a friend, a family member, or even a stranger is going through a tough time and, upon watching, will find the comfort and strength they need. This is how the message multiplies, reaching places and hearts we never imagined. Furthermore, by subscribing to the channel and activating notifications, you will receive new content that strengthens faith, bringing inspiring messages guided by God's love. Each video is carefully crafted with purpose, aiming to edify, teach, and bring everyone closer to a faith-led life. And by becoming part of this community, you are also helping spread the word, joining a network of spiritual support and fellowship. Let's share this journey of faith together and impact lives. So don't hesitate to share this message with friends, family, and everyone who might benefit from it. Why not start now? This is the moment to let God's word reach even more hearts, bringing life and hope where it is needed. And may this journey continue, for faith is essential, the fuel that moves us, and with each share, it becomes even more alive and present in the world.